All right, very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Defo Show, a Thursday edition. That means that we're going to feature the Trivia Challenge today, and we do have to offer some congratulations and some new details on. You talk about a quick turnaround, man.
Yeah.
This is like a guy getting cut and then picked up the next day by a Super Bowl contender. He's cut by the New York Jets. Now, there was nothing wrong with Landlubbers. We're big supporters of Landlubbers, always have been, always will be. I mean, let's face it, that was a long association. I mean, that goes back 15, 20 years with Alex Suffreen. I was in Radio Purgatory at the time. Not even Radio Purgatory. I think I was beneath Radio Purgatory. I was on Radio Haiti. And we started doing a high school show, and my friend Mike Lang from Air Around the Clock said, I got the perfect place for you to have this show be the home of the show. And it was Landlubbers. We met Suffreen. We started doing a broadcast there. I think we were there every Tuesday night. Lubie established a relationship along with the professor with Alex Suffreen as they continued to do shows there, I believe, in the aftermath of my departure there on 1470, which, as I said, is just to the right on the radio dial. I mean, you talk about going from left to the right on the radio dial. You're going right on the map. The only station beyond that, 1470, I believe, was Radio Haiti, which was the station next door. And I mean, have you ever put on the airport information radio station? You see the sign?
No.
I've never.
No.
Mr. AM radio. I never was tempted to turn that station. What is it, like 1620? Probably broadcasts a radius of a mile or two, which exceeded the parameters, the limits. Although, whenever they show you the coverage map, this used to be a great ploy of salespeople at radio stations. They would show you the coverage map, and it was like XPRS out of Tijuana, covered the entire West Coast. And then you'd get in a car 2 blocks from the radio station, and and that was all you would get. Always was a prohibitive factor in terms of trying to make the sale. Hey, let's go outside. Well, we'll listen to the show right here. It'd be great because the guy couldn't get it inside his own house of business. But you have a new place now, new location for the trivia, which unfortunately you got the cancellation notice, like 2 weeks ago, Louie?
Like a month ago. Was it a month? Yeah, because we had 2 weeks of no trivia. And we had done it the week before. So I guess it's been about a month because Luca it might have been more than a month because Luca was like around 2-3 weeks when we got the notice. So, and he's about to be 2 months this Sunday. So, we got the notice a month or so ago. The way they treated it very radio style. They told us the day we're doing our last trivia, that it was our last trivia. I don't know what they thought it was like. I'm not going to go ranting. But yeah, so that ended. And a bunch of our players, we got a nice little group there because we had done it for 2 or 3 years at Landlubbers, and we had a nice crowd of like return engagement people or chronics, as you would say.
That's okay. They came in, they spent money.
You would say with the most endearing of terms is what we call them. And they sold us to this place, Love and Oven, also in Sunrise. I guess Landlubbers is officially in Plantation, but they're within 3 minutes of each other.
Oh, nice.
And I guess this place does a lot of different things, and they brought up our trivia, and the guy reached out to me. Actually, he sold me on it because I didn't even think we were going to be doing trivia. Like, I have a baby now. I'm not trying to do stuff at night, to be brutally honest, like trying to get into the next phase of life. But if they sold it for me, I'm not going to make them look bad. So we gave it a go last night. It went really well. The place is a nice size. Last night plays a nice size. It's going to be every Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Wednesday. Okay.
Which we weren't tied to any day. We weren't tied to anything. And that's what was weird about the Landlubbers is they didn't even bring it up to us. That's cool. We move on. But every Wednesday, 7 o'clock, Love and Oven in the Sunrise area off of Sunset Strip and Nob Hill, as opposed to Pine Island.
So did you paper the house last night? I mean, how did it go?
I don't know if we papered, but we had like 5 of the groups that were at Landlubbers were there. And this is a smaller place. This is like, I would say, half or quarter the size of Landlubbers. Okay. So we don't need anywhere near the amount of people to fill it up. It wasn't totally full, but we had a nice crowd with some new people played, and it was a good time. They enjoyed it. The guy that brought me in was happy, so that's what matters. He did not. He did not say, "I thought you had a following," so that was a win.
Particularly harsh words. I mean, you're already looking around knowing it's a brick. And then you have to have the indignity of having the manager insult you, and you're like, "Look, I thought people were coming. They all told me they were coming." That's the way it went. All right, good. Congratulations, Lubie. It's good to hear. We do have the
Thanks.
trivia challenge on the program today, and we're going to get to Dave Gurggles Gergely. In fact, we're going to do it right away because also later on we're going to talk to Grant Long. Now, when you're swinging badly, you're going by the birth of your son Luca as to
Yes.
the last time or whatever you're
To
using
mark time. Yeah, to mark time. Yeah.
a chronicle barometer if you're trying to get the chronology correct of the last time
Yes.
something happened. And with
Yes.
me, I'm going by the last time I cashed a ticket. We gave out a game very tepidly last night. The Detroit Pistons, who I've been a big fan of now for the last couple of years because of our connection with Grant Long, part of the Pistons broadcast team, and going to be part of the show today, right after Dave Gurggles Gergely and the Trivia Challenge. We'll talk with Grant Long about what's going on with the Pistons. So I give him out last night, laying 3 points against the Bucks. We lost 7 in a row. Rumors swirling around. I mean, not even swirling around. I mean, they just have escalated to the point where it appears that certain trade possibilities eventually sort of appear to become fact. You don't know where they're going to end up, but Antetokounmpo, of course, has always been content. He loves Milwaukee and all of this stuff, but looks like maybe he's going elsewhere. Well, we'll see. Dave Gurggles Gergely joins us, and he's hustling today. What's going on, Gurgs? How are you, my friend?
Doing fine. We got big doings. Tomorrow is the Charlie DeLuca Foundation tournament here. So
One
I'll
of my
be
favorite guys I ever met.
Yeah, he was he was the original pro here in '62. His son's got the reins now, but I'll be doing Beat the Broadcaster. Then I'll MC the auction and the awards, and then I'll run to Hialeah to the citation room to announce the athletes for Larry Little's tournament tomorrow, and then I'll do Beat the Broadcaster at the Springs for Larry Little, and then Sunday I won't get off the couch.
Oh, very nice. Did they have the banquet going at Hialeah? Is that still?
Yeah, they do it every Friday. You were there, I want to say half a dozen years ago or something. I remember.
I attended a few of those. Yeah, back
Up
in
in
the
the
days.
citation room. And
Yeah.
I think I'm going to retire too. Talk about bad beats. I had two $50 teasers going, and I had 3 for 3 on one of them, 4 for 4 on the other, and I both had them tied to the Sunday night game. So the Sunday night game, I teased it up 7 points to Washington, Denver under 50. 20 to 17 left with less than 2 minutes. They tie it, go to overtime. They both scored touchdowns in overtime and ends up 28-27.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I mean, it was reminiscent of the days of going to highlight. We were talking about it earlier in the week, where you start rooting against your own team.
Right.
In this case, I needed Washington to tie the game because my only chance to cover the 6 points or whatever I was laying was to have Denver score a touchdown in overtime.
Right.
So they had to get to overtime. So now I'm rooting for the Commanders to score. They do get the field goal. Everything has to break your way. So they lose the coin flip. Now that you defer in overtime because each team gets a possession. So you're better off getting the ball second. You know what you have to do. And you can use the 4 downs then also if you know you need a touchdown. And sure enough, the Broncos score a touchdown. You're thinking, no way they come back and get another touchdown to tie the game. Sure enough, they didn't tie the game because they went for 2 in the win. But it's the ruination. I mean, overtime, many times, once in a while, a steward's inquiry saves you. But more often than not, it's the last thing you want to see.
If Denver wins, we both win. The total becomes 47.
Yes.
And I win the under-over and that would have been 3 sticks, I think, altogether. But they. What are you going to do?
I don't know that you see that very often. I would imagine it's probably 1 in 20 overtime games, if that. Where now, since they changed the rule and each team gets a possession, even if a touchdown is scored by the team that has the ball originally,
right?
How often does the team respond and get an answering touchdown?
My only hope was Denver being held to a field goal, so it's 23-20, and then if the score on Washington, they don't kick the extra point, it becomes 49. I got all these possibilities going through my head. Instead, just tear the tickets up.
It's insane, really. I mean, back in the day, you'd be in the elementary school math class, and you couldn't figure out the sequence, next number in the sequence, 2, 4, 8, And now, I mean, all these calculations and permutations run through your mind almost immediately as you're like 6 minutes out from the ballgame, and you think, well, if this happens, if that happens.
Yeah.
All right, well, too bad. That's a tough beat, Dave Gurggles Gergely, but
Yeah,
you're
well.
generally pretty hot. All right, we're going to give out the numbers here, and we'll play as many as we can. Gurggles has some big responsibilities, and then about 8:45 today, we'll talk to Grant Long about the season the Detroit Pistons are having. They lose last night, of course, as Milwaukee on a 7-game losing streak manages to pull this out. They outscored Detroit by 11 in the fourth quarter, end up winning the game by 4. I'm laying 3 with the Pistons as my recommendation on various gambling shows. And once again, what kind of fool am I? I'll teach you. Never count on anything as being reality when it comes to betting. All right, 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. If you'd like to join us here on the phone lines, we'll get right into the game. The trivia challenge. Dave's going to be firing off the questions, and we're going to begin in the somewhat traditional fashion, although it's never traditional completely without the presence of the Polyman. But he's always with us in spirit. Now, he didn't check out. See, I shouldn't say it like that.
I was going to say, don't say it like that. The guy's doing okay from what you guys have told me.
This is one that hurts to even mention, but I do have to. Is John Footy Cross still with us?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I did not see anything online. His son, I guess, a few years ago passed, sadly, around the COVID time. That's what I saw. A lot of John Cross Jr. And I remember him having a son. I think that had some issues, and that's where he started Here's Help, because I think his son had a lot to do with it. I think I found nothing about him, and I feel like he's enough of a local presence that there would be something online.
Somewhere. Yeah. See, I saw this thing on Facebook from David Lorenzo, good friends with Footy, and of course, former owner, one of the family owners of Lorenzo's Italian Market, which builders came in and made him an offer they couldn't refuse, and they went out of business, one of the great places. And he's always posting stuff and joining Footy and me in the conversation. And it looked like he put up some tribute to John Footy Cross, but I like you, can't find any information about his status. I know he was walking with some help there. He had the walker and had some health issues. But, yeah, well, we'll see if anybody knows of his status. Dead or alive, and we're hoping it's alive, John Footy Cross.
And I'm hoping well.
I'm thinking he's alive. There would be something somewhere that this guy had checked out. All right, let's get into it. And we start the game in the traditional fashion as homage to the Polyman with Dave Gurggles Gergely and some
Easy Baseball.
Thanks.
This announcer, known for his slip of the tongue, made the following announcement during play-by-play. That's Hendricks' 19th home run. One more, and he reaches double figures. That, of course, Jerry Coleman, Dabney Coleman, Gary Coleman, or Choo-Choo Coleman.
My favorite was always, and he slides into second with a stand-up double. The ball is over his head, and it's rolling towards the wall. And you're thinking, wow, this guy's head's rolling towards the wall. That's pretty good, Jerry. All right, Mike, you're up first on the trivia challenge. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, eh?
It's correct. Let's start to the game. Very good start.
All right, billiards, Mike. True or false? Believe it or not, Jackie Gleason did his own shots in the movie The Hustler. True or false?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Gleason was quite a pool player. You're right. Yep.
He did all those trick shots and everything?
Yep.
That was a great movie, The Hustler. Unbelievable. 2 for 2. A difficult one. I probably would have said nay to that. So going for 5 and still alive for the sweep.
All right, let's take you back in history a little bit. In 1977, around this date, the NFL played their 5,000th game. And the Cincinnati Bengals were the winners, 27-7 over Kansas City, Houston, Miami, or the Patriots.
Houston.
No, it was the Kansas City Chiefs, as a matter of fact.
Tough one to know with any conviction. All right, going for 7.
Boy, you've come a long way since Mickey Suki said you never used to mention the word conviction. All right.
Oh, no.
All right, NBA.
That was a weaponization of the Department of Justice, I can assure you.
Oh, my God.
If anybody understands it, it's me.
That reminded me of the last scene of Ocean's 11 when the announcer guy was cremated, all of us in that row, and then the guy goes, Ed, look at the murderer's row that was in there as character witnesses. All right, NBA.
That was a motley crew, man. Even the judge was like, who are these people?
He couldn't pronounce the Indian's name. That's right. All right, NBA.
He forgot half of the deal and just left it out.
with Chris Paul's early morning release in 2005, what team originally drafted Chris Paul with the 4th pick overall? The Hawks, the Clippers, the Hornets, or the Nets?
Hornets.
Hornets.
That's right.
Yes.
Charlotte Hornets. Well done.
Very good. Very good, Mike. 7 points. That has you, well, obviously, since you were the first player, that would be a stat ESPN would put up on a crawl, right?
Wait, was that his 3-point question or was that the 5-point question?
That was the 5-point one. He missed the 3-point one.
So he got that. All right, Mike, hang around. You're probably in the finals, my friend.
It was one of those impossible, like, who played in the 3,000th game or whatever.
Yeah,
against
5,000.
Oh, yeah. No, those are tough. All right, dial us up if you want to play. 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. No doubt, Gurggles, you'll be passing out a lot of cigars today.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow I'll be on the newly designed number 7 hole here, a little par 3 over the water with my Perdomo cigars. And then Saturday at Miami Springs for Larry Little, it's an uphill one, about 160 yards. And I'll be passing out cigars there for Perdomo as well. And LT usually comes to the Friday night. He's not going to be there. He's a Perdomo guy. Last time he was there, I said, hey, how about a nice Perdomo cigar? Opened his jacket. He had one on himself. So he won't be there. Nice. Yeah, Perdomo Cigars, 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the south side of the street, on the little bit east of Home Depot. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The holidays right around the corner. Great gift. A gift certificate, a variety pack, or the favorite box of cigars, whatever the person in your life likes. Perdomo Cigars. They're 4th generation to make them perfect one at a time. 305-627-6700, Monday through Friday. You want to go Saturday, Sunday and get some? Not a problem. Any tobacconist worth their salt should have a Perdomo cigar in their many Perdomo cigars. So this week, when the Hurricanes do not make that playoff, still celebrate with a Perdomo cigar.
Wow. It's, it seems to be playing out that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, what if Duke somehow beats Virginia? And that's
throws all hell because I don't think Duke's getting
Would we
in.
need Virginia to beat Duke or no?
Miami, you want all hell to break loose, I think, if you're Miami. But to me, I think it's simple. I think the way they did the rankings this time, they made it clear Notre Dame and Miami will be matched up if BYU loses. And if you go to that place, you sort of have to go head to head. Like
Texas Tech is favored, aren't they?
No, Texas Tech should win that game, and that plays in Miami's favor. BYU could win that game.
It depends on Danny Ainge.
It's complicated. I mean, if they were going to put in relationship status, it's complicated. I'm fascinated by the idea that we always thought the expansion of the postseason would eliminate a lot of these who's getting hosed, who deserves to be in debates, and if anything, it's exacerbated the situation to the point where all around the country, as we were saying yesterday on the show, Miami hasn't been this much in focus, national college football attention since the Fiesta Bowl when they walked out of the steak fry and got off the plane in the fatigues. Other than that, who's been talking about Miami at this volume where every day you're seeing 10 guys debating whether Miami belongs in the postseason? All right, next set of questions. Here's Dave.
All right, here we go. Golf. This humorist, pondering one of golf's many questions, said, what's the point of washing off your ball in a ball washer when you're teeing off on a water hole? Bruce Lansky, Meyer Lansky, Oscar Meyer, or Oscar Gamble?
All right, roll it, the scrambler. You got a little remote button there for Luca? He's pushing the button for the scrambler, it seems like. People love playing with that thing. Ron, you're on the trivia challenge. Hello, Ron.
Good morning, fellas. Let's go with A.
A lot of money. You're in the hunt.
All right, football, Ron. Former Hurricane and Bills running back Willis McGahee is the nephew of thoroughbred trainer Shug McGahee.
That's false.
Yeah. It worked before about 10 years ago. I remember we used that one.
Somebody got fooled by that?
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here. All right. Yeah, that seems rather impossible. But if somebody was fooled by it, that's not necessarily a complete surprise. 2 going for 5.
College football, Ron. Which of the following major college coaches became the first to win 10 games in a season for 6 straight years? Ara Parseghian, Steve Spurrier, Bud Wilkinson, or Bobby Bowden?
Oh, boy. Let's go Spurrier.
I'm going to go Bobby.
No. Bobby Bowden,
Yeah.
1992.
A lot of Mama's meatloaf had to go down on that, and you won't find that recipe in any of the finer restaurants around South Florida. Going for 7 points here, tying for the lead, Ron.
All right, NFL. Peyton Manning with 306 touchdown passes in his first 10 years in the league is all-time leading for those first 10 years. Dan Marino is third with 290. Who is between them second with 292 in his first 10 years?
Right.
Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Matt Ryan, or Brett Favre?
Oh boy. Let's go Matt Ryan.
Ryan.
He's fifth. Russell Wilson, 292.
All right, Ron weighs in with 2 points.
Maybe.
Not totally out of it here. We'll play one more because we know Gurggles has to hustle. And then get to the finals, 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Andy weighing in saying, sadly, it seems like footy died in 2019. No, he was still going.
No,
He just did that event. He was fine.
Yeah, we had an event, I remember.
What was that, like 2 years ago? That had to be a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's when...
you were brilliant there as an MC. That was one of your best jobs ever MCing. You've done a lot of stuff. I've seen you many, many times in that capacity. And I thought that was some of your finest work, Dave Gurggles Gergely. You woke up the house after they were almost semi-comatose. But, yeah, if anybody has any info, it just seemed like the guy was posting a tribute.
Yeah.
And then I see nothing. There would have been something online that said that he checked.
Yeah, I would agree. And the news, too. Would have been on the local news.
You'd have heard something about footy if he had passed.
Somewhere, right? Wouldn't there be like at least a minor tribute? My God. All right, let's roll out our next set of questions. This will be our final set, so we'll decide who goes to the championship round right after this. So here we go, Gurgs.
All right, track and field. This is one of my favorite comedians. This New England comedian on the famed Boston Marathon observed, hey, a Mexican won the Boston Marathon 2 years ago. He wasn't even in the race. He was just running down the street. Was that the great Lenny Clark, Bobby Clark, Jack Clark, or Clark Kent?
All right, roll the scrambler there. Luca. Oh, and there he is. Speaking in the flesh here. Here's Andy to compete in the championship round or towards the championship round of the Trivia Challenge. Andy, how are you?
I'm good. I AI'd it. That's what it said on AI. James Footy Cross, Kross.
Yeah.
That he spells last name.
But it says Junior.
You're sitting on with Kenny Walker.
Yeah.
His show
Doesn't say that.
That's what it says on AI, but AI is not always right. Anyway, the answer is A. Kip Kino.
So what? It said he died in 2019. We know that's
We've seen
not
him
true.
before then. Since then, we've seen him many times since then. We've been to events he's hosted since then.
I thought he was on your show after that.
Yes, we've seen him at events many times since then, like in the last 2 years.
Yeah, AI's wrong because I remember he was selling his
hot sauce. He had the hot sauce going.
Hot sauce.
Yeah. AI that's right, Allen Iverson. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You have one going for two, Andy.
Sticking with track and field, 8-time Olympic champion Usain Bolt is human, just like the rest of us. Admitting retirement, there's a picture of him, the famed sprinter, now getting out of breath after walking up a flight of stairs. True or false?
No, that was me. That was me. I'll say false.
No, it's true. He had a leg injury, and they showed him walking up that flight of stairs, and he was out of breath.
Was it Donald Trump? I didn't catch your name there. I was reading some stuff.
Usain Bolt.
Oh, Usain Bolt. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Andy. One going for four. So moving into the finals.
Let's take you back to the old AFL, one of my favorite players. 3 players in the AFL history played a record 140 straight games during their career in the AFL. Which of the following did not? Did not. George Blanda, Billy Cannon, Gino Capoletti, or Jim Otto?
Who was the first one? Yeah, Capoletti.
George Blanda, Billy Cannon, Gino Capoletti, or Jim Otto?
The first one. I'm not Blanda, not Capoletti, and not Otto.
Well, let me.
Oh, that would be like the third one.
So you not Blanda, not Capoletti, not Otto. So you say Billy Cannon.
Yeah, Billy Cannon.
That's the right answer.
What a deduction. That is
Who later
fantastic.
did time for
All right, well,
talent.
hang on. You're in the finals right now.
Yep.
All right, and still has a 5-point question to go, correct?
Yes, he does, as a matter
All
of
right.
Never
fact.
mind. You're still up.
He could be the number 1 seed.
Okay, here we go.
One.
Again, I'm doing Larry Little's event Saturday. Coach Hall of Famer with a great career with the Dolphins. Who did he originally sign with in the AFL?
Wow, that could
Was it the Raiders, the Patriots, the Dolphins, or the Chargers?
Larry Little?
Yeah.
I'll go with the Raiders.
No, right state, wrong team. He signed for $500 with the Chargers.
unbelievable.
Still, you're in the finals.
That's right.
So hang on, Andy.
All right, you're in the finals here. We're going to assemble that. So it's going to be Mike versus Andy championship of this week's edition of the Trivia Challenge. And in the meantime, while we assemble that, one more time, Dave, LT, opens up his jacket.
Yeah, there's a Perdomo cigar. Unfortunately, won't be there tonight. But yeah, he had a Perdomo. He smokes Perdomo cigars, and we sell them right here at the golf course. And we are slamming here at the golf course. The course is in terrific shape. We will have the DeLuca Foundation event tomorrow, 12 noon with a full field. Come on out and play. But you want a Perdomo cigar? If you're coming to play golf here, you can buy it right from us. If not, go right to 5150 Northwest 167th Street. Go say hello to Bruce, their concierge, ex-police officer, knows all about cigars. He'll help you. Say hello to Nick and Janine. They now have 4 grandchildren, I think, and maybe another one on the way. So the Perdomo family is growing, but the cigar family there is terrific. 305-627-6700, www.perdomocigars.com.
All right. I think we're just about set for the finals here. Lubie putting that together. We are set.
Okay.
And we will continue afterwards. Grant Long going to join us on the show. That's always a lot of fun talking to Grant and get to the bottom of this hideous loss I suffered last night, the collapse in the fourth quarter that cost me at least looking good. I had no money, no actual cash on the game. That's the best way to do it. Tout a game and then don't have any money on it yourself. So we're ready for the finals. Here's the way it works. Dave's going to fire up a question. Call out your name if you want to answer right away. If nobody does that, we offer multiple choice. First person to call out his name gets first chance. And we go back and forth until we have a winner. So for the championship, this week's edition of the Trivia Challenge with Lubie now on the road in a new spot. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't.
Love and Oven on Wednesdays.
Send me the info, Mike.
Yeah, I'll text it to you every Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Right around the corner from Landlubbers, called Love and Oven. And most of the teams that played at Landlubbers were there last night. So it's the same trivia, the whole thing. So yeah, if you ever want to join, we'd love to have you.
You tell them to take their receipts afterwards right into Landlubber and show it to the guy?
Exactly.
What's the food fanfare there, real quick?
It's pizza, but they also have burgers and wings.
Okay.
And Ken and I had a stromboli. It was fantastic. Like I love stromboli and calzones, and like most places are chintz with the toppings. This place was really good. Like we really enjoyed it.
Good.
People seem to enjoy the food, which is cool. So
Love and Oven out there in Sunrise.
Sunrise.
All right, here we go. Here's the finals question. Call out your name if you want to answer right away, and here we go.
Good luck, guys. And a tragic but great running back out of University of Syracuse, Ernie Davis, in the NFL draft, was drafted number 1 by what NFL team?
All right. Anybody? Here's multiple choice.
Was it the Redskins, the Giants, the Bears, or the Lions?
Andy, I think it was.
I heard
Mike
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 say his name.
Mike
And he
first.
called the rules. Go, Mike.
Go
Mike,
ahead, Mike.
Redskins.
that's it.
Correct.
You got it, Mike.
Wow.
Nice try, Andy.
You
What
got
an
it
ace
anyway.
on
I got it
Andy.
wrong. Good job, Mike.
Good job, Mike.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Very good.
All right, gentlemen, thanks for getting me in early.
We got you in early, and even more importantly, we got you out early.
Yeah, I got to go to Doral.
When I went into that thing about the menu, I saw you, sort of turn a little pale there.
He's like, what is he doing?
How much time is he going to kill before I can get out of here?
No, we're fine.
We love you, Gurgs. We'll see you next
All
week.
right, Gurgs, go have
Hey,
some
guys.
fun. Dave Gurggles Gergely, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're going to come back in a moment. We'll have Grant Long joining us. They were in Milwaukee last night. I don't know if he travels with the team. I know he does pre- and post-game shows on TV. He was involved in meetings and all kinds of stuff. That's why he missed us yesterday. So we'll talk about what happened. They rise to the top of the Detroit Pistons. Can they stay there? That would be the question. The East in what? AFC, very mid pack to fair in terms of no real great standouts. NBA East, same thing, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, was he bringing up? The AFC right now, it's a mess. The standout is the Patriots, which again, it's still hard to count on a team that won
Waiting
4
for them
games
to
last
collapse,
year.
and they're not.
Yeah,
doing
they won 4 games last year. It's a coach that had been fired. It's the first year there. So the NBA East is very similar. I mean, the Pistons are running away with the conference right now, but again, it's the Pistons who have been not good for years now. So yes, there's a lot of question marks, and the West has like 6 to 8 really good teams. So
Yeah.
it's
including Oklahoma City, which they have
running
to
away
go
with
like 55-7, something like that, to eclipse the all-time record set by Golden State, who of course broke the 72-10. That was posted by the Jordan-led Chicago Bulls during the glory years of the Chicago Bulls. Warriors had their own glory era and managed to beat that by 1. So you would have to go, what, 73-9, 74-8. You imagine going 74-8 NBA regular season? It's hard to even stay interested in all 82.
Oh, especially now, exactly. Like they're a younger team, so the management stuff isn't as big a deal for them. But with Chet Holmgren's injuries, SGA plays a lot of minutes. Like you would think they're gonna at some point do what baseball used to do and just rest guys to rest guys. Like it's hard to fathom a team doing that for an entire year. The way guys, like if guys play 70 games, that's a big deal now.
Sure, load management, man. Will we ever see, and I doubt it in my lifetime, in your lifetime, Lubie, probably impossible also. Young Luka, he's got a long way to go. A league actually capitulate to what everybody's been screaming about, players, fans, and almost all entities involved, except maybe sponsors and ticket sellers and TV revenue people. A time where they reduce the number of games in the regular season. Will you ever see any league, NHL, NBA, NFL, certainly not going in that direction. Major League Baseball probably needs to ever see a league say, you know what, all our guys are getting injured. That doesn't help us any. We're constantly dealing with this. Let's reduce the number of games in the regular season. What do you think?
I'd love to see it, especially in the NBA and the baseball season, because they just drag on. But there's so much money into the TV contracts, and that is about getting more action and more content. It's hard to fathom it happening anytime soon. Like right now, everything's in, because everything's you can watch whenever you want. Sports is the one thing you have to watch right now. So advertisers are like, okay, people have to watch now. People hopefully will catch our spots. So it makes it more not relevant, but just it makes it a bigger deal. So they're able to get a lot of money for these TV contracts. I'm curious if they're ever willing to be like, yeah, the product sucks though. Like our regular seasons are a total waste.
Yeah.
Like
you're going to probably have more games added before you'll have them.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, we're going to come back. We'll hopefully talk to Grant Long and have some other things for you as well as we continue here on the Defo Show. Tomorrow, the professor with a big board. We got the college football playoff games to analyze. I'm curious to get his opinion because really a mixed bag of opinions on at least the 3 games that I've been zeroing in on.
Well, we have you mean that we have the conference championships first? I don't know what they mean or don't mean.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then, because I don't know what they mean. You could lose it and not move. You could not be in one and move up.
My friend Mike Jones is calling for the elimination of conference championship games.
I think we're at that point. I think because again,
you'd rather not be in it.
No, 100%, because they count the loss as a loss. If you don't play, you have no shot at a loss. Like I guess maybe you can win your way in, but you can also lose your way out. Like I'm not one to defend Alabama. I could give a crap about Alabama, but Alabama's in right now. But if they lose, they're out. Yeah. So then why would you play? Like why would I want to play that game? Like it's not helping me.
And you have to play Georgia, who
exactly
managed to eke out a win over, but this one's in Atlanta, and Georgia's playing a little better football, I think, at this time than they were maybe at any point in the season. Is that possibly true, Lubie?
Yeah, they're playing. I mean, their offense has woken up a lot compared to the early parts of the season. I think it's ridiculous. I don't think you should get punished for playing.
No, it's insane. The whole system's a cockamamie system. All right, and this was supposed to settle things. That's the
it always gets worse every time.
It's like the Trump administration just creates more chaos each and every day. Were there really drugs on those boats? I don't even know. All right, back with more in a moment. Now that
the time.
Anybody found a bail or anything? Square grouper. It's 8:39.
Joe Bees. The bees collect the pollen, bring it to Joe, he packages it, and he gets it to you. It's simple, 100% natural, and it's good for you.
There's only one place to get Joe Bees, and that's from me. Joe Bee.
If you want to look and feel good, call 877-300-5632.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks, hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly... You can't fake caring. Women can sense this immediately. You don't really care. You didn't really want to do any of this.
We now return to the Defo Show.
All right, welcome to the show. This is always an honor and a privilege for us, Jeff DeForest. We've got Mike Lubitz, and we welcome in from, and this has been fantastic because we talked to this guy for so many seasons, and they were down in the dumps, the Detroit Pistons. And I used to have to do these miserable, horrible Leonard Hamilton post-game interviews when the Hurricanes couldn't win a game. I think they had lost their first 17 Big East contests. And Leonard was a pretty serious guy. It turned out he was much more affable, Lubie. You found out than
later in life. Yeah.
And you would have judged if you were just looking at his demeanor while he was on the court, especially after another 30-point loss to the University of Connecticut on the road. And it was really tough to do these shows because you're trying to find any coach. Did you like the way the rotation worked tonight? Are you thinking about sticking with something like that? He's like, what are you talking about? We lost by 30. Tough to do. And Grant was doing this for a long time. Grant Long joins us here on the show. Grant, how are you, my friend? Good to have you on the program, and nice to talk to you under different circumstances for sure with your Pistons. How are you?
It's a great morning, guys. It's feeling pretty good. Everything's good. Everything is in order.
Great. I mean, except for last night, I got sucked into this. I was admiring the way the Detroit Pistons bounced back from finally getting saddled with a couple of losses. What, they rattled off 13 in a row? Something along those lines. And then they lost to Boston. They came back, no disgrace, losing to Orlando in Orlando. And then I thought, wow, this is a real sign of growth here because we're trying to figure out, do they have the maturity factor? See a lot of teams knock on the door and then they start taking steps towards maybe being a championship caliber club, and it's a young team. But I love the way they responded. I know that lead dissipated there in the fourth quarter against the Heat, but coming back the next night after losing in Orlando, I thought that was a real sign. And then they eke out a 1-point victory the subsequent game. I think they're going to beat Milwaukee last night. And they get outscored by 11 in the fourth quarter. But what would you say? I mean, what are the biggest obviously, emergence of Cade Cunningham continues his growth spurt there. What are some of the things that have made this team one of the best in the Eastern Conference and one of the best in the NBA, Grant Long?
Well, I'd have to say it was the continuity, guys. I think they, keeping the nucleus of the team together and the growth of Cade Cunningham, obviously last year, first-time All-Star. Jalen Duren has emerged as a dominant force in the paint. He's improved his game to the point where you can throw him the ball. He can go get you a couple of baskets, one-on-one opportunities, where he wasn't doing that last year or the year before that because he was more of a catch a lob, dunk the ball in and around the basket. He was very good there. But now he's expanded his game. So I think it's just been the improvement of everyone. And like I said, the continuity. A lot of people don't realize that Cade Cunningham, in his first 3 seasons, had 3 different coaches. Mm-hmm. So, you look at that situation and think, wow, you got to give him a lot of credit that he's been able to just maintain his progression through all of that change. And now all of a sudden he's healthy, not dealing with any nagging injuries, which is it's a godsend in itself. But I'll go back to the same word, the continuity of having the team, the nucleus together, and just being able to improve every season.
So on that, you're a guy that played a long time, ups and downs. How we always talk about how is it to deal with an injury? How is it to deal with being healthy? Like Cade, it was really not ability. We've learned it was health. When Cunningham, the first 3 years had nagging injuries, and the first 2 years he's finally healthy. He started to come on 2 years ago. Last year he's an all-star. This year he's one of the best players in the NBA, one of the best all-around players in the NBA. As a guy who played a long time. I'm sure you dealt with injuries, and then I'm sure you dealt with being healthy after. How is it to finally be free of the injuries? Like, do they still linger in the back of your mind? Because it feels like Cunningham 2 years ago sort of released those demons, and you saw him be a totally different guy last year.
You know what, Lubie? Here's the thing about injuries, and you have to learn this coming into the league as a young player. When you start to play this game, you have to find what your pain tolerance is, because you're never going to be, once you start to play, you're never going to be 100% healthy. You have to decide, hey, I'm going to play despite this nagging injury. It's one thing to be hurt, and it's another thing to be injured. If you're hurt, you should be play through that. And that's what young players have to decide and have to come to the conclusion and say, look, am I hurt or am I injured? A lot of guys, when they're young, they're hurt and they sit out. If you're injured, that's different. But if you're just hurt, your hand's hurting or your leg hurting today, you got to play through that. And if you find that you can play through it, you're going to be better for it. And as I mentioned earlier, you're never going to be 100% healthy. You just have to find that place where you say, you know what, I'm playing despite this little pain that I'm dealing with. I'll just have to deal with it. Because if you sit for every injury or every hurt that you have, you're never going to play. There's always something wrong with you. So you're never going to play if you pay attention or sit down for every injury or rough patch that you have. You're never going to play.
The ghosts of Dick Bavena, I guess, were haunting last year when the Pistons played the Knicks in that first-round playoff series. Did seem like maybe they got jobbed on a few calls in critical situations. And you could see the change in the way the team was not only composed from a roster standpoint, but maybe even the mentality a little bit. Is the belief there in not only within the ranks, but what about the Detroit fans who have sort of been neutered to the idea that this process was ever going to end? And it looks like it's heading in the right direction finally, Grant Long. Is the belief there inside the organization and around the city that the Pistons can sustain this and be a deep playoff team or possibly even emerge from the Eastern Conference as their representative in the finals?
That's a profound yes, Defo. A profound yes.
Yeah,
because last year, this team had a significant turnaround. They won 3 times as many games as they did the year before. That's never been done. Obviously, you didn't expect that to happen this year, but last year they snuck up on a lot of teams. And you would think, okay, these guys are going to come into the season and everybody's going to prepare for them and they won't have that success. That's what's been impressive, that they've been able to pick up where they left off last year and still play a high level and competitive brand of basketball, even though the teams are preparing for them like they never have before. Nobody wants to be beat by these Detroit Pistons teams, but they are playing the brand of basketball that suggests that what they did last year is sustainable. They are playing with a target on their back, so to speak, and they've been able to respond. I'll say the culture has been enhanced by J.B. Bickerstaff, their new head coach, completely different than a couple of years ago when Monty Williams was here. These guys Coach Bickerstaff has full buy-in. And listen, I'll say this, guys. I'm going to go on record and saying, we went into the season, and it's still early, and you got the message from the top of the heap. Let's manage the expectations. Everybody around and associated with the Pistons, especially the fans, might feel like this team is a championship caliber team. We want to manage those expectations. You get that a lot. Listen, the expectations should be high. This is a very good team. And I'm going out on a limb and saying they can compete for a championship. They are ready. They have a perfect blend of youth. We always underestimate and say, well, are they too young to achieve success right now? Well, they have a perfect blend of youth who understand, let's get it. But then they also have savvy veterans who can slow them down a bit and say, hey, let's do this. Let's execute. It's winning time, and put the ball in Cade Cunningham's hand, who is the leading scorer in the fourth quarter so far this season. So they have the perfect ingredient to be a championship team. So I'm not going to curtail my excitement or manage the expectations. I feel like they can do it.
Well, Cunningham doesn't seem to be one of those guys that's beating his own chest the whole time and overly demonstrative. I like the way he picked apart. I mean, they were slumping there in that fourth quarter against the Heat. They're up 22 with 8 minutes to go, and all of a sudden it gets down to like a couple of point margin, 2 or 4 points, and Cunningham sort of took over there, and that's what you need, the so-called closer, and they became Mariano Rivera and made a couple of key buckets and a couple of big plays, and they were able to preserve the victory that was slipping away. So that was a good sign as well. All right, Grant Long with us here on the show. A couple of other things around the NBA. We refer to this as the pink cons syndrome. Pink con syndrome, and you know what this is like, having played ball in the parks in Michigan. There's probably some tough turf, where guy shows up in pink Converse All-Star high tops. He better be able to play, correct? I mean, he better have some game, or the guy's, he's probably not leaving in one piece. Chris Paul, did he have pink con syndrome? The word was that he was very, much in the face of players and trying to, tell them how to play and instructing management and coaching staffs what they should be doing. But the guy was averaging 2 points a game. So was he treated badly by an organization that we know is as convoluted as anything that we've ever seen, maybe in NBA history, the LA Clippers, for an organization that seemed to have the opportunity to actually rise to a level of significance and never seems to get there, no matter who they have on the team. Was Chris Paul mistreated in your opinion, Grant Long, by the Clippers, who let him go, and now there's speculation he'll sign somewhere else, maybe even with the Knicks? But what did you think of that situation, the way it was handled?
I think it was par for the course. I am seriously. I have no idea why people are so outraged or have a problem with the way Chris Paul was asked to leave. It's the business of the NBA. Did everybody think Chris Paul was above the business of NBA? Get out of here. Listen, I got traded along with Steve Smith when I'm sitting on the tarmac.
You and Lane Kiffin, yeah.
We're sitting on the tarmac on our luggage, wondering what we're going to do, what team we're going to play for, all of that. So, no, it's the business of the NBA, and I'm sorry, Chris Paul, you're not above that. Nobody is. Nobody is. Go back to the NFL. Didn't they say, well, the Cleveland Browns who moved out of Cleveland in the U-Haul truck in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
It happened. The Oklahoma City Thunder said they were not leaving Seattle, and in the middle of the night, they took off and left anyway. So that's the business of the NBA. No one should be shocked, especially Chris Paul, because at one point he was the head of the Players Association. This is what the NBA does. I'm sorry, I'm not shocked, and I don't feel sorry for Chris Paul. It happened. And let me say this lastly, guys. I've always been the guy who said, when you hear teams say, we're going to bring this veteran guy in for a locker room presence. Listen, a locker room presence is great if the guy is still playing. But you can't sit on the end of the bench like you just mentioned, Defo, guys averaging 2 points trying to tell me what's going on in the game. We're out here. You're not out here. Your 2 points don't mean anything. If you got somebody,
I love it.
2 points in garbage time. Yeah, exactly.
You got to play him.
Would you agree that falls under the category, the heading of pink Converse All-Star syndrome? If you're going to talk a big game, you better be able to play, right? Better make.
You got to be able to play.
I know you got to run. I hope you have time for one more. If you don't, feel free to say hey, sayonara, guys. But a lot of the pot has always been stirring with Giannis Antetokounmpo because Milwaukee, they do have the championship, but they don't look like they're in a position to get back there again anytime soon, for whatever reason. Do you see him going somewhere else? I mean, the Knicks always. It's funny. I get the New York Post, and New York thinks they're going to get every player that's ever available. That's they're in line first. I don't know. I mean, do you have any thoughts about? Obviously, we're not mind readers, and you would have to have a cachet of booty to get Antetokounmpo. So you're talking about probably a limited number of teams, probably mostly bad ones. So what do you think in that situation? What's the resolution in your eyes?
And you hit it again, Defo. You're gonna, if you got all that money stashed away, you're pretty much going to be a bad team. And if he's searching for another championship, why would he go to a bad team? I can only say that he has publicly stated that he would like to stay in Milwaukee, and as long as they continue to put players around him or try to do something that supports his championship efforts, I think he's going to stay there. He's always been the guy that says, I'm not going to run and join another team and power up or super team with somebody else. I would rather have them come join me here in Milwaukee. If he holds fast to that, I believe he's staying in Milwaukee. And I have no reason to believe that he would change his mind all of a sudden. that he would go partner up with some other people.
Would you be reluctant to take a charge from Antetokounmpo, especially since he's allowed 7 steps to gather momentum? I mean, does Grant Long just body up right there at the circle and say, "Okay, big man, bring it"?
Well, you know what? You can set up to take that charge all you want, and he's giving that
Exactly.
Anyway, he's going to see you standing there setting up to take, and he's going to take that one large step right there at the end and get right around you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody take a charge, and I'm not as you say that.
From him, yeah, no.
He's
People
taking a
run out of
charge
the way.
from Antetokounmpo, man. He takes off from the top of the key like he was Dr. J in the slam dunk or Jordan.
100%.
And, you know, and everybody's standing there like the soccer players on the penalty kick with their hands over their balls. It's
yeah. No one takes them from.
no one takes that charge.
Actually, true. Everyone moves out of the way.
All right, Grant, we know you got to run. We can't thank you enough, brother.
Man,
We'll have to talk again soon because this is a hot story, and we love exploring it with you after all these years of futility and frustration. So thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
All right, my guys. Have a good one.
Thanks,
Grant.
Grant.
All right, thanks a lot. Grant Long, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think, Libby? I don't know. I want to believe that the Pistons can do it.
I think. Look,
I want to believe because it's nice to see change.
I think in the Eastern Conference they can. I mean, look, they last year this group's first playoff run, or first playoff appearance in years, pushed a Knicks team that eventually beat the Celtics. That was everyone's favorite, the defending champions at that point. Like they were just figuring it out. Cade Cunningham was horrendous in the second halves of almost every game. Like he wasn't good in that series, and for the most part. And they went 6 for sure. I'm trying to remember if they went 7. And again, there were 2 games that were theirs that refs openly just took from them. Like, why can't they this year? The East, there's no one that, I mean, talent wise, they're young, they're athletic, they play defense, they can score. I mean, the Thompson kid's coming into his own a little bit. They have depth, which is a lot of the teams in the East don't have. Like, they've added some veterans too. Bickerstaff really does have this team, following his every whim. In the Eastern Conference, for sure, I don't see why they couldn't get through. It's the West. It's what are they against the Thunder? What are they against even a T-Wolves? What are they against the Nuggets? Like teams that are just as deep and have a lot more veterans than they do. That's my problem with them is the youth. The youth thing, and we saw the Thunder go and win, but the Thunder I think that was like their second or third time being in the playoffs.
Thunder are unique in that, another team where, it strikes me that Cunningham is not some egomaniac about what he's doing.
Yeah.
And SGA is the same. And that team seems to be as selfless in terms of pointing fingers at themselves to try and take claim for whatever glory they've achieved. I mean, they seem as it's hard to say this. I mean, with any real decisiveness, but doesn't it seem, at least appearance-wise, like they're really together in terms of where they're at mentally as individuals and as a team? And you're not sitting there. I don't know if it's heat culture. Doesn't culture suggest that there's a little bit of a slimy smell? I don't.
In the fridge, not on a sports organization.
I mean, you have to literally, be angry about. I don't know. Doesn't that seem to be a part of heat culture? I guess that they're going to outwork everybody and that whole thing. The Thunder just seem to roll along. I mean, when you see them, especially in those post-game interviews where everybody comes around, and they just look like they're really together. Hey, look, they have 1 loss on the season, Libby.
Yes.
In a regular season where they easily could have taken kind of a slovenly, lazy approach to the early portion of the season, figuring your magic wand theory that used to have with the Heat, that they'll turn it up when necessary. Could have easily approached it this way. Instead, they're going out there and annihilating people. So that's pretty impressive. All right. Thanks to Grant Long for joining us. Dave Gurggles Gergely as well. Always a pleasure being with you guys. We'll do it again tomorrow. Wrap up the week with the professor, a big board, and a closer look at some interesting conference title games. And, of course, who could feel any better about this than anybody that's doing a sports show where you can just debate all day.
Oh, yeah.
What's right and wrong about the college football playoff system. I believe this, though, that no matter what happens there at the bottom, the team that wins probably will be from among the top teams anyway. No, that the eventual national champion is not going to be Look, you get the argument, and this certainly applied to Florida State. Players deserve the chance to compete if they've gotten themselves in a position to be there. So, could Miami win a national championship? Maybe. Could Notre Dame? I don't know that I'm seeing that. Are you, Lubie?
I think it's Ohio State in the field. I mean, it's just what it is. They've been consistent. Look, they haven't played a tough schedule. They really haven't.
No.
And I get that. They're going to take on an Indiana team that is number 2, I think, in this conference championship. So we'll see.
That's a great matchup too, and a lot of even division about, especially the 3 more prominent games.
Yes. So that's the thing is, but as of now, they just seem to be coasting. So it feels like they're on just a whole different level than everyone else. I will see if that bears out.
Yeah. Well, Ohio State giving up like less than 8 points a game.
Yeah, well, that's the difference.
And Indiana's not that far behind, though. They only gave up less than 12 points a game.
Yeah, and Indiana can score too. Fernando Mendoza's it's an argument.
He averaged over 40-something a game.
The best quarterback in the country, a guy that's going to walk into a Heisman. So it's not like whatever Sayan is doing at Ohio State, Mendoza is doing the same, if not more, at Indiana. I don't know. When Indiana comes up against a team like that, look, Oregon was supposed to do it, and they got past Oregon. I don't know. It feels like Ohio State's going to smack them. I mean, I'm very curious. That's the one. I don't really care about the conference championship games, honestly. That's the one where it's like, okay, let's see if Indiana goes up against them and Late does something real. And let's see if Ohio State can keep doing what they're doing versus a highly ranked team.
Has Ohio State even been remotely threatened this year?
Washington was sort of close.
Yeah.
They won by less than 20 versus Washington.
All right. So, I mean, they're in the spirit of the song, they're taking care of business, but they're doing it in an impressive fashion.
Very easily.
I mean, look, it'd be nice to get the upset. I hate Ohio State with every fiber of my emotional being. I hate Craig Krenzel, the fact that this Terry Porter ran across the field there, and he throws a flag on one of the worst pass interference. I mean, if ever there was a non-call, it was this. Is a guy didn't hit him until after he had already dropped the ball. That, if you watch replays, I mean, you don't need the Zapruder film to see this. It's not a pass interference call. And even if it was, it would be so borderline that there's no way you could call it under those circumstances. I know a penalty is a penalty, Lubie, but the guy that's standing right there calls nothing.
Didn't call it. Yeah, didn't call
nothing.
it.
He waves the game's over. Paul D gets doused by the Gatorade. He's running around on the field there. Everybody's celebrating. Larry Coker has won 48 straight games. Incredible, even though a year later people thought he couldn't coach his dog to drink water. Incredible. And then they replay the thing, and, of course, they end up prospering and winning a ball game, depriving the Canes of a national championship, just absolutely horrendous. So there was a time there where there was seemingly some bias against them. I don't know that exists anymore. The University of Miami, but wow, I don't know. Could they beat Ohio State?
Could they? Oh yeah. I mean, look, they have talent.
Mario Cristobal calling a place.
No, I don't think
whatever. Influencing like, side of the ball.
Could they? Yeah, look, they have talent on the team, and we've seen when they play at their highest, they can go toe to toe with some of the better teams in the country. We haven't seen them do it for entire games. They take like halves off. Outside of this Pitt game, the first or the second half, every single game they struggle.
They don't blow you away like hurricane teams.
Like Ohio State has, for most of their games, just been methodical. And that's the thing, you brought it up. They were already good offensively. Their defense in the last few years was uncharacteristically bringing Patricia off the trash heap, where I don't even know where he was. Maybe he was in New England doing something.
They still have the pencil in his ear.
I don't know. All I know is their defense is dominant. Like their defense is like what their defenses used to be a few years ago. And their offense still is elite. So that's the thing for them is isn't that. There's no other team that's that. Like every other team has a hole. Indiana's the closest thing, but no one trusts them. I can't name anyone on Indiana's team. Indiana talent-wise, they're doing it with smoke and mirrors. Ohio State is a bunch of NFL players that are going to play at high levels in the NFL. There's no one right now. Texas is the one team talent-wise. Texas, Georgia, Alabama, but none of those teams have, again, been dominant on both sides of the ball. All those teams have major issues on either offense or defense. Ohio State just doesn't. Ohio State right now is playing, and Ryan Day's getting out of the way. Ryan Day's not forcing whatever style of play he wants to. They're throwing it around, and with Smith and Tate, two guys that may go in the top 15 of the NFL draft at receiver, which is rare. They're just blowing teams away. I don't know. I'm hoping someone can play with him. I don't want. I mean, that would be back to back. Doing back to back easy would be annoying, but it just feels like that's sort of what's going to happen.
Are people ignoring the obvious? I guess in picking Indiana, upstart team. Look, Indiana, Lee Corso. Yeah, finally did his last show there in College Game Day. I mean, maybe there's some ominous signs there, but and I don't know. Comparatively, it's hard to judge. I mean, you have strength versus strength, and yet Indiana's no slouch in the area that they're supposed to be inferior in. They're not that far behind defensively, so that's a good one. The question also is, what incentive do you have? You become the number one seed, but if Ohio State loses to Indiana, the number two team, no doubt they'll still be in the top four and have a bye. So I don't know what advantages they necessarily gain by putting everything they have into this ball game. Except, I don't know, is there a big edge to being a number one seed versus, say, a number four, Lubie, in the college football playoff? I'm not sure that exists. The conference championship games of what would normally be huge magnitude rendered not just meaningless in some spots, but then on top of that, you would rather not be in the conference championship game, as we were suggesting. So, very, very strange dynamic going on there in college football. Man, did they screw things up. All they had to do was pay the players like more than the $3 a month they were giving everybody as laundry money. And just they should have laundered some other funds their way. I guess they did that for years, and it didn't work. Once this came out in the open, it certainly has changed the entire system there. And the chaos that Jim Larinaga predicted on our show many years ago when this first came up, before it even actually happened, has more than manifested itself in what's going on in the major college sports. All right, we're going to get out of here on that note, man. What a brilliant theory that was, that college football is messed up forever. And I don't know that anybody's in a position to really rein it in. So, and you know how this goes, Louie. The rich get richer. All right, we will see you guys tomorrow with the professor. Thanks so much for tuning in. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, Dave Gurggles Gergely, Grant Long, special guest today here on the program. I'm Jeff DeForest. See you next time as we leave you now that.
The time.
It's 9:07.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.